Annapurna.
Sir.
Please introduce yourself to the board.
Sir, my name is Annapurna Singh. I hail from Patna, Bihar. I am a student of Electronics and Communication Engineering. I completed my BTech from Bangalore. And sir, my hobbies include Madhubani painting, particularly the Bharni and Kachni forms. And sir, I have a work experience of 3 years in Intel as a semiconductor verification engineer.
Okay. Your subject is geography.
Sir.
Can you tell me something about theory of continental drift?
Yes, sir. So the theory of continental drift is one of the pioneering theories which talked about how lava or magma inside the Earth's crust shapes the movement of and the output, like the orography or other factors above the Earth's surface. So it is one of the theories that has explained it. It was given by Alfred Weber, sir.
What are the proofs he gave?
Sir, one was the zigzag shape of the continents, which could be made to arrange in such a manner that they would be together if arranged. So second was the availability and proofs of certain elements, like sir, I'm forgetting the exact name, but there were certain elements across continents. For instance, in Africa and South America. So it showed that there was a continuity. So third, the presence of certain animals or species like the marsupials in the Australia that was separate to the other continent block also showed that it had drifted apart through a period of time. So these were some of the proofs, sir.
Okay. What is a peninsula?
Sir, peninsula is a triangular landmass that is surrounded by water from 3 sides, and from one side it is attached to the land. For instance, the Indian peninsula is an example.
Okay. What are the advantages and disadvantages of being a peninsula?
Sir, one advantage I can think of first is in terms of the climate diversity that it can provide. For instance, in our peninsula itself, sir, Bangalore is gaining an advantage of the peninsular shape because it is towards the end, because of a narrow strip of land, it provides humidity as well as a good climate variation. Apart from that, sir, peninsula, since it is surrounded by water body from all sides, blue economy prospects engage there. So thirdly, apart from that, it can be very crucial for port-led development and its proximity with crucial sea lines of communication. So these are the few importance that I can think of right now.
And some disadvantages?
Sir, one disadvantage is that it can be very vulnerable to extreme climatic events as is seen in the rising climate crisis also across various peninsula. So second issue can be a maritime crisis. For instance, in India's 2611, the peninsular positioning was also a reason why it was so vulnerable. So this is what I can think.
Okay. What is unique about Madhubani painting? You are wearing a Madhubani sari also.
Yes, sir.
What is unique?
Sir, a couple of factors in fact, sir. First unique thing is that it also crosses in itself 5 different forms. For instance, the one that I am wearing is a Bharni form of Madhubani painting. Apart from that, Kachni, Kohbar, Godna and Tantric are other forms of Madhubani. So second is, it is not just an art form, but also a cultural engravedness in the Mithila region of Bihar, and it is a source of livelihood for a lot of people, particularly women, and it has helped a lot in women empowerment in that region. So third importance of Madhubani painting is that it is very much helpful in export orientedness and its economic importance is also high. So these are the uniqueness of the painting, sir.
And vegetable color is used.
Yes, sir. So vegetable colors and natural colors, like a few of the other handicrafts like the Varli painting or the Manjusha painting, Madhubani also incorporates certain vegetable colors along with cow dung and a certain pigmentation to make it to give it a natural glow. So that is another unique factor, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Your third choice is Indian Police Service. Recently, we amended all the 3 criminal laws.
So,
can you tell me any 3 positive developments?
yes, sir. So the first positive development is a clear definition of terrorism in the Bharatiya Nyaya Sankhiki. So the Bharatiya Nyaya Sahitas, my apologies, sir. So the second good development is the incorporation of electronic evidence would be allowed now. And so third is the, and again, a definition of organized crime and inclusion of specific, exclusion of specific terms which were very much earlier, which were very much issue based, like sedition has been removed from BNS. So these are.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Annapurna,
Sir.
you studied geography as optional.
Sir.
What are the 4 largest countries in the world by area?
So by area, so the first one is Russia. I'm sorry, sir. I know that Canada, US, etc. are there, but I'm forgetting the exact ranking, and I wouldn't venture a guess, sir. I'll
Okay,
read
no
about it.
problem. You were on the right track. Canada is second.
Yes, sir.
US is third. China is fourth.
Fourth. Thank you, sir.
What is India's rank?
I'm sorry, sir.
Seventh.
Okay. Sir. Thank you,
Okay, good. Now, tell me, you have been seeing Russia-Ukraine war. Which side is to be held responsible for this war so long?
So the responsibility of continuation of the war, it is very difficult to tag one side as completely being responsible, because sir, both the sides have not agreed to bring into a ceasefire, and it is only possible when both the sides agree to that. However, sir, for the continuation, I think the Western Bloc, since it is at a defensive end and there is a lot of vulnerability owing to the elections and lack of funding present for Ukraine, and Russia is increasingly taking up territories, like recently Avdiivka territory was taken over. So it has got a lot of upper hand there, and I think, sir, there is a need for both the sides to come to the table, diplomatically talk it out and end the war, sir.
Yeah, but would you not find Russia to be responsible or to be blamed for this war? They started it and they are continuing it. I mean, is the war the way to solve any problem, in this age and this era?
Indeed, sir. As our Honorable PM had also cited in the Samarkand summit, that it is not an era of war. So I completely agree, sir, that it is wrong on the Russian side to engage into territorial disputes. But sir, I cannot say that Russia is solely responsible, because there were territorial implications from the NATO side coming down to the borders of Russia, and citing that even when there were already Russia had already cited that it would not tolerate anything of that stance. So in that aspect, sir, I think both the sides could be held responsible, not just one.
Okay, you feel like that, but I would like to say that Russia took a unilateral decision. It's my way or highway, took to the battlefront. Even if Russia is to be seen as the aggressor, they started the war, right? What should Europe and NATO do? Should they yield? Should they allow Russia to have its way? Or are they fully justified in standing up to it and trying to confront and block Russia from proceeding further?
Sir, while the attempts of the Europe and Western Bloc had been very much in the beginning, but sir, recently it's seen that there also wholeheartedness is not seen, and Ukraine is one at the receiving end, and the people of Ukraine,
That
and
is
they are
true.
the one who are suffering. So in aspects of, sir, whether they should continue the European bloc, I think they should not, sir. They should also come down, because it has become more of a political factor rather than coming out on a ceasefire, and with elections coming in the way and the leadership also giving up vulnerabilities in that aspect, sir, I don't believe that the continuation of the war is going to solve anything for that matter.
No, I was arguing that the NATO and European Union and US are fully justified in trying to block Russia, because if Ukraine falls, then there is a whole long list of East European countries which will fall. Ultimately, Russia is asking that the previous Soviet Union empire days should be re-established, which means starting with Ukraine, it will go to Bulgaria, Romania, Czech Republic, and further that way. So West is, in my mind, fully justified in standing up to Russia and trying to tell them that that Russia cannot have its way by acquiring the neighboring country just because neighboring country is weak.
Yes, sir.
And why ultimately Ukraine wants to join NATO? That seems to be the main origin of the dispute.
Yes, sir.
So why do they want to join NATO? Do you understand why Ukraine wants to join NATO?
So there's a historical context to it. After the Crimean Peninsula 2014 issue, when Russia took over the Crimean Peninsula, that had one of the reasons citing that Ukraine felt that it would be more secure being part of the NATO, where it talks about collective defense. Collective
security, Article 5, which is the main interest, but it's a peculiar situation where Ukraine wants to join for its own self-survival.
Yes, sir.
But the fact that it wants to join, Russia is coming after it to obliterate it. We'll move on to, tell me, if United Nations Security Council has been a big failure. I mean, they are not any more effective in maintaining peace and order.
Yes, sir, they have not been very much effective in maintenance of the peace and order, especially in the backdrop of the ongoing wars. They have not been doing their part well.
Correct.
Sir, I believe that they are not representative of the current realities.
Yeah, that is correct. I take your point. But what is the main, I mean, what is there to gain for India if India wants to join as a member of the UNSC?
Yes,
because the UNSC itself is becoming ineffective or obsolete or whatever, non-performing.
Yes, sir.
Is there any merit for India to join such an organization which is sinking on its own?
Sir, I believe that it is much better to have a reformed and a better UN rather than having no UN. And in that aspect, sir, United Nations is still relevant. We can recall the Black Sea Grain Initiative that United Nations had charted out. Even recently, sir, the Article 99 that was recalled by the UN General Assembly, the UN General Chair, sir, that was also citing the same thing. However, sir, since reforms are needed, India is in favor of reforms, and I believe that India's presence in the P5 would not just be in favor of India, but for the global community as a whole, because it would definitely provide them legitimacy when India, such a responsible democratic power, which is a voice of the global south at the same time, is part of the P5 bloc, sir.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Annapurna,
sir.
In the present contemporary circumstances, if you do not know that it is fake, you will never come to know the truth. Do you agree?
Yes, sir, I do agree. And in that respect, sir, the technology and the ongoing deep fakes, which the AI is leading, is definitely a case in point, sir. When we do not know if something is fake, the reality will very much be in the shadows, sir.
There are a number of fields associated with this, which will overcome, which will discuss. But right now, the elections are on hand. So how far this problem is going to aggravate the election process?
Certainly, sir, it is a very big problem on our forefront right now, as elections will be, particularly in the campaigns aspect, sir, AI, and in that respect, deepfakes, videos, and the synthetic videos have been seen to have changed a lot of narratives. The case in point being United States, certain blogs getting calls from the US President Biden, which was actually a morphed call. Additionally, in the Bangladesh elections, we saw that deepfakes also had a role to play. In that aspect, sir, the voters' awareness and voters' education is very much necessary. Additionally, sir, these bodies who are providing deepfakes for their platform, they also need certain self-regulation on their part.
Using the social media will be one of the best way to counter it? The same media which is propagating it?
So I think it is a cause and then it is a problem, but the solution has to come from bottom up rather than being top down and being imposed, because it will not be sustainable in the long run. So I think it is a start, but sir, I think it is just the first way to go. There are a lot of other steps also need to be
There
taken.
are three sectors, education, health and banking,
So,
in which there is a emphasis by the government of India
so,
and even other economics also to let the performance come to the expected standards.
so.
So what are the problems which education sector, health sector and banking is facing right now, which you think that needs to be addressed? 2-3 points under each sector.
Okay, sir. Sir, simultaneous, sir, any linkages or sir independently?
Independently.
Okay, sir. So the problems particularly, first for the education sector, sir, one is a problem of a divide in terms of digital, in terms of curricula, which is not employability oriented. So second is a problem of teachers training and teacher absenteeism, particularly in the states like Bihar, which is very much high. Thirdly, sir, a gender divide, because it is seen in terms of the literacy ratio and the dropouts also.
What about accessibility?
Certainly, sir, in terms of accessibility, I believe it is the foremost
Yes.
problem in education.
Okay, then coming to the health sector.
So in the health sector, dividing it in preventive as well as curative sides, first is a problem of funding. So we are only at 2.9% and it has to increase. Second is the problem of infrastructure, sir, and that too in rural areas, the primary health centers are in a dilapidated condition. So third issue, I believe, is the doctors to patient ratio, which is much higher than 1:1,000, which WHO has prescribed. And so fourth, I believe, again, accessibility and divide in terms of rural and urban India and the old age population as well, sir.
Bank.
Sir, banking sector, however, it has shown a lot of improvements, but the balance sheet issue that was seen earlier, I believe, sir, that also needs strengthening in terms of a bank's own governance, internal governance. So second is in terms of giving out loans, sir, they have become more transparent, I believe, but sir, I think they should be more accessible by the rural population and the more vulnerable population as such. So this is what I can think.
Cyber crimes.
Certainly, sir. Thank you very much.
No.
The cyber crimes are the growing problem, sir, and banks are one of the most vulnerable targets of the
So
cyber
connected with the
criminals.
bank is the problem of NPA.
So,
Why it has come to the fore right now? What is the vocation? Why it has come to the fore that NPA is something which? Do you think that the NPA is an inherent risk in the banking system, or do you think that it is always criminal angle involved in it?
sir, citing that always a criminal angle is involved would not be fair, I believe, sir. But NPAs are certainly a big issue. Bad banks had come up to solve that issue to certain extent. But in that aspect, sir, I believe that the banks have to maintain their regional caution, their internal governance caution, and also the RBI as a regulatory body is doing
Under
a very
what
good job.
circumstances the enforcement directorate steps in, so far as NPAs are concerned?
Sir,
Because you must have heard
Yes,
a
sir.
lot of.
Yes, sir. So the Enforcement Directorate is the primary body that is taking care of money laundering cases and any of the Foreign Exchange Management Act related issues. And this is a direct linkage with the criminal thing that we were discussing, which
What is the
leads
criminal
to.
element involved in it?
So there are certain, maybe the business bodies or any of the.
Misrepresentation of facts,
Yes.
cheating, that becomes the
Yes,
criminal
sir.
act.
Yes, sir.
So
Thank you,
so they obtain the loan on the basis of misrepresentation
Yes.
of fact, that comes
Yes, sir.
in. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Annapurna,
Sir.
you have been a geography student along with the engineer.
Sir.
So, what is the from which continent the Tropic of Capricorn and Tropic of Cancer both passes?
Sir, the African continent.
Yes, yes. And from where there are about 8 states from which Tropic of Cancer passes through India. Describe it from east to west.
So going from east to west, we have Tripura, we have Jharkhand, we have
Immediately
Chhattis-
after Tripura, Jharkhand comes.
My apologies, sir. I am missing Mizoram, sir. Tripura, Mizoram. I'll have to maybe check that again, sir.
Last question on geography.
Sir.
Can you describe the imaginary line of snow line. Have you heard about snow line?
Yes, sir. It is the line till which we can see the snow cover, the white coverage of the crowns of the mountains. I believe you're talking about that, sir.
It is not that. You read about it. Now, let us come to something else.
So,
If there is a hung parliament,
so
what are how the President of India should deal with it? Like you're facing an election,
So-
although cephalogists say 400 or something like that, possibility doesn't seem, but we are talking about a hypothetical situation like there is a hung parliament and happened about 20 years back.
yes, sir.
So how did President deal with such a situation as per the Constitution?
Sir, in a situation of a hung parliament, the president has to allow a party or a person to prove confidence in the parliament, and
The person he can choose anybody.
sir, if he can, yes, sir, there is a possibility that he can choose anybody, but that person would have to prove confidence. If not, they would not be allowed to continue on the
So
position.
whether he is a member of parliament or not, or whether he is the leader of any party or not, he can choose anybody.
Certainly not, sir. They have to be the member of the either house of the parliament, I believe. Yes, sir.
So, there is any written down procedure in the Constitution, or it's based on the propriety or what?
So based on the constitutional backing of it, I believe, sir, I'll have to read and brush it up a little bit more. Sir.
Okay. Coming to something else, you are aware of GI tags?
Yes, sir. GI tags I'm aware of.
So when this process was started?
Sir, it was started by the GI Act 1999 and it is in consonation with WTO TRIPS agreement.
So how many items have got the GI tag in India, and which is the first item which got the GI tag in India?
So the first item to get was the Darjeeling tea, and the number of items, sir, I'm sorry, sir, I'm not aware of the exact number. I'll go back and
How many items did Bihar as GI tag?
Sir, it is around 18, sorry, sir, it is around 14 items from Bihar.
At least name 5 or 6.
So first is the Madhubani painting, which I am donning right now. So second is the Bhagalpuri silk, the Tassar silk. Third is Mithila Makhana. Sir, fourth is Jardalu mango. Fifth is Muzaffarpur lychee. Sixth is Maghi pan.
Okay, just we are talking about this painting, Madhubani painting, you are adorning also. Must congratulate on a very beautiful choice. But
Yes.
I want to know one thing. I feel that Madhubani painting has to depict a something to do with Ram Katha, but your sari is not showing any Ram Katha.
Sir, while it is a popular belief, but it is not so, sir. Ram Katha has been the one that has been very popular owing to the progression and how it has been branded across. But Madhubani painting also dons a lot of themes like nature and daily lives of the villages women. And there are certain motifs that are available like fishes, lotus, and some of them are the ones in my sari as well, sir.
Okay, my next question is about the Manipur. What is the Manipur problem and why it is not getting solved till now? It's now 8-9 months
Yes.
or so.
So the problem is very much an ethnic issue, and which was more accelerated by an intervention by the High Court, which accelerated the issue. The Kukis and the Meetis are the one who are at the falterheads. Sir, there are issues about representations of the minorities and the hill and the plain region who are inhabiting it, the Kukis and
It
Meetis
is a
respectively.
minority issue also.
So the representation of it has also a role to play in it, as far as my reading, sir, that certain reservations were cited for the minorities.
But for minorities, I think up till now there is no reservation for minorities. Any reservation has been given to in the Indian Constitution to the minorities?
So there are provisions in the Indian constitutions, but about the reservations, sir, I'm sorry, sir, I'll have to confirm on that.
So it is basically about the ST status, and
Yes, sir.
remaining part you didn't reach. That I'll give you in the feedback.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, Annapurna, you If you can wait outside,
Okay, sir.
we'll call you for feedback.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Formal interview is over.
Sir.
What is your own assessment? How did it go today?
Sir, I believe that I have to brush up on some of the facts, sir. I believe that there I was faltering a little bit. Apart from that, sir, I believe it went well, sir.
Okay.
So Annapurna,
Sir.
a few things like in geography, I was asking largest countries.
Yes,
I mean that's expected, but still one doesn't remember many things. Also, 2-3 things I would like to share.
Sir.
You know, you have very good expression at your command. You can speak, but you know, it is not seen as a debating society,
Sir.
not a place to go on and on,
Sir.
but to remain focused to the questions asked, and answers should be very focused, limited to 2 or maximum 3 points that you can think of.
Sir.
Also, I noticed that you are defending government or speaking in praise of the government. You are so far not yet. Like you mentioned, India is a global leader of South, you
Yes.
know, and UNSC role. All that is fine.
So?
When someone asks, you can say, you are not yet in the government. So, when a question is being asked, listen attentively. What is the core of the question? And just answer that much. You know, if it is opinion based, you have to have an opinion. So give 2, maximum 3.
Okay, sir.
Because time is of a major shortage. 30 minutes is all. There are 5 senior people there, or everybody has 5 minutes or something, and they want to ask many questions.
Right.
They will go on, and therefore he is ready with the question. Moment you stop, the panel will automatically has many follow-up questions. But I find you have a good understanding of international relations, Russia-Ukraine war. Initially, you were not very clear whether we should blame Russia, but I don't find fault with that, because most people in India feel that we need to defend Russia.
So,
I was doing other way, right?
Sir,
I was trying to not defend, but to put Russia, all the blame on the Russia.
okay, sir.
See, Russia, I was not even asking India's relations or India's stance on the Russia-Ukraine war. That was not the question. I was generally asking, this is a very important and crucial issue right now under finalization. What is finally happens in Ukraine will lead to many other things, one after one. Entire Europe is almost exposed.
Sir.
The entire concept of rule of law,
Sir.
you know, is also at stake.
Yes, sir.
US is given its internal democracy, and its Congress has not yet supported. Senate has approved. Congress has support of the Republicans, but their system, they do mull over an issue over several weeks,
So,
because even Republicans are looking for some protection on the
Yes.
southern border. Democrats have a different game plan. You know, there are a lot of politics involved.
Yes.
I'm just saying, little bit time is limited, but they have opened the border for illegal migration because the workers are needed in the US economy. The US economy is so hot and is moving fast.
Yes.
So, but that is not liked by the Republicans. So Republicans say you control the border, don't let it be open border. So all kinds of negotiations keep going on. But eventually America has stood up. US alone has poured 123 billion
Yes.
in Ukraine through this. And it's a limited kind of a thing in which third world war is evident.
so,
They don't want without doing the third world. So this issue has several implications. Best thing is you read online
okay, sir.
who is to be blamed,
Yes.
what is the solution of Russia-Ukraine war,
Okay, sir.
what will happen. You will get plenty of information,
Yes, sir,
make up your own mind,
Okay, sir.
and then speak up honestly and truthfully. That will stand in you in good stead.
Okay, sir.
Okay? Otherwise, you'll do well.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Annapurna, you are very good.
Thank you, sir.
You answered well. When I asked you about the education, health, and so to have a comprehensive view,
Okay, sir.
that unequal access is all the constant problem in all the 3 sectors. So that gives an idea that yes, you have a knowledge. Yeah, I mean you can interconnect things. So
Yes.
that will be better.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'll take care of that.
Then again, what my fellow panelist has said, that your answers are generally long answers.
Okay.
So it should be point-wise prioritized before you speaking 1, 2, 3.
Okay,
So that will help you. Because as I said, that you get a better chance of having supplementaries on which you can have you can impress upon the board once again instead of having. Then there are certain other areas which we have not taken into consideration. You have been a silicon verification engineer, so there could be a question on chip.
Yes.
Now chip, we have overcome that problem, and there are other problems.
Yes, sir.
A few steps have been taken.
Yes, sir.
Even recently, a few steps
Yes,
have been
sir.
taken, so you
That
should be
was-
aware of that. Then the Women's Reservation Bill, One Nation, One Poll, these are
Sir.
some of the important. World economy linked with the Indian economy, what are the problems of the world economy? Is there fiscal deficit? We have not asked any question on fiscal deficit. Indian economy, what is the debt problem? Why the IMF has warned India?
Yes, sir.
That why the debt.
More than
So,
100%.
what in fact the impact the inflation has on the Indian economy? What impact the fiscal deficit? Not the figures, but the understanding of it.
Yes,
That's
sir.
why.
Yes, sir.
How to increase the GDP in agriculture sector? What is the problem?
Yes.
Why the farmers are hesitating?
Yes.
That kind of a thing could be there. Then there are some structural changes in the financial sector. That is the GST.
Yes, sir.
Then the demonetization.
Yes, sir.
So these are some of the things which may be asked. Then the enforcement directorate, where from they draw the authority, why it is a draconian law, etc. That kind of a thing. That's all.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, Annapurna. You are a very good candidate and can become excellent. Some further improvements based on our suggestions and otherwise. First thing about your head
So,
and neck movement. It was too much. If you can practice and reduce it a bit.
okay, sir.
Secondly, you're keeping hands clasped.
Yes, sir.
Try to keep hands on the knees instead of that.
Okay, sir.
That shows that you are under some pressure, tension or something like that.
Okay, sir.
And very little movement of hands.
Okay, sir.
Some movement should be there. No, should not be totally stable. And your head should move a bit. 70% towards the questioner and 30% time with others.
Okay.
So those things will improve further your presence. Then coming to the question answers which I asked about that, naturally wherever there's a gap, you need to improve about like this is a very common question,
Yes,
the
sir.
topic of cancer moving from east to west.
I remember from west to east, then east to
but
west I have.
that is always the trick.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Secondly, snow line is a line, imaginary line beyond which all around the year, 12 months, snow is there.
Okay.
It is always with the snow. No time. It based on latitude and longitude, latitude and altitude.
So,
So at poles, it will be no latitude, all latitude, no altitude. So I mean to say that way, and that it could be even present at the equator
So-
if the height of the mountain
Yes,
is
sir.
very high.
yes, sir.
So you have to think on those terms. So now leaving the question about the hung parliament, also you were slightly shaking.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Annapurna, first about the hung parliament.
So,
You haven't read political science?
sir, I have, sir, but since it's not in my DAF, I've not been, I
See,
haven't brushed it
as
for
per
a long
the
time.
as per the constitution,
So,
first thing is the majority party.
yes, sir.
But if there is a hung parliament, that means there is no
No
majority.
majority party, correct.
Okay. Second choice is pre-election alliance,
Yes, sir.
like we have
Yes,
now
sir, NDA.
NDA and India. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So that is also not there. If otherwise they would have called them. Okay. So then comes post-election alliance.
Okay, sir.
If some parties have formed alliance after the election and they have a majority, so they will have to be given the opportunity.
Okay.
And next is single largest party. The leader of the single largest party
Okay, sir.
has to be invited and given a time to prove its majority.
Okay, sir.
But this is where the discussion part comes. At times, instead of calling the post-election alliance, they call the single largest party. Okay?
Has happened.
Whether it is governor, whether it is the president.
President.
Yeah, that is the discussion part.
Okay, sir.
So that is hung
Thank you, sir.
parliament. Okay. Now, my colleague also raised this issue.
So,
You have to be brief.
okay, sir.
Okay. Generally, the thumb rule is you get 1 minute to reply one question.
Okay, sir.
And in first 30-40 seconds,
So,
all the important points should come out.
okay, sir.
Because either the member will lose interest
So,
or he will switch over to another question.
okay, sir.
In either case, you lose.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Understood, sir.
So, for that, there should be no introduction, there should be no conclusion. You must hear the question very carefully till the end,
Okay, sir.
till he finishes the question,
So,
and try to understand the purport of the question. What is the core?
so,
What he is trying to ask?
so,
And answer only that.
okay, sir.
1, 2, 3 and stop.
Okay, sir.
For example,
So,
I asked what is unique in Madhubani painting.
So.
You told me about the export potential.
Yes, sir.
These are not unique part.
So,
Unique is
the colors.
vegetable color,
Okay, sir.
the theme.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, these are the unique things.
Okay, sir.
You should have spoken only about these and stop.
Okay, sir. Okay. I'll take care of
So
that.
what happens? As a result, not in this question,
So,
but in other questions, you volunteer lot of information.
so,
So that acts in a negative way because that will attract more questions.
okay, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
So that is counterproductive in all the ways.
Okay, sir.
So don't volunteer any
Okay,
information.
sir.
These are the general things I wanted to address. Rest my colleagues have covered.
Okay.
If you want to ask anything specifically, you can ask.
Sir, one question, sir, from sir.
Please.
Sir, the Russia-Ukraine war, as it's been cited that who is to be blamed or where the war is going. So, how to give a very short and crisp answer on that?
Okay, I'll tell you, there is no one answer.
Yes, sir.
You must know what is Russia up to
Yes, sir.
in this whole effort.
Yes, sir.
More than 2 years, they are for something big.
So,
They want something really massive as a prize.
so,
They are not able to achieve it
So.
for their own weakness, shortness. So a lot of this information is available in good editorials
Yes, sir.
online,
Great following
Hindu,
those.
Times of India,
yes, sir.
and international New York Times, Wall Street Journal, and Financial Times.
Okay, sir.
You read couple of. When is your interview?
Sir, it's on the 4th of April.
Okay, you still have some time.
Sir.
Read quickly online. You will make your mind yourself.
Okay, sir.
Once you get to know the true intentions of both sides,
So,
what is at stake, then you can take a side, whichever you like it, and back it up with an argument.
okay, sir.
This is how you have to take an impartial, objective view by saying both sides, because it's clear that initially you came with some impression that Russia is to be defended at any cost. That was not my intention.
Sir, in fact, my understanding goes there that it was a provocation because, it started by extension of NATO from till there and
There was no guarantee, there was no agreement signed between Russia and the
certainly,
West.
sir, and the territorial
and
integrity.
NATO has existed since 1948. Finland joined last year, Sweden has joined this
32,
year,
yes.
Ukraine wants to join. NATO is not going to go anywhere.
Right.
But Russia to prevail like this,
Yes, sir, I
is
agree.
going too far.
I'll
And that is what is the point at stake.
Sir,
So these editorials will make your all doubts clear.
Okay, sir.
And so read that, and that will be useful.
Okay.
Okay, all the best.
Thank you, sir.
All the best.
Thank you, sir.